Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired a high-level meeting at his residence in Delhi. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, NSA Ajit Doval, CDS General Anil Chauhan and chiefs of 3 services were in attendance. For more, DD India correspondent Akshay Dongre joins us from New Delhi. Akshay, given the evolving situation with Pakistan, what do we know about the key takeaways from the meeting?
Well, the key takeaways are quite clear as far as the developments of the last 72 hours are concerned. India has seen hostilities, India has seen escalation, and India has seen retaliation by Indian armed forces as well. So one thing that had become very clear, Shubhendu, and that we can report very responsibly is that the retaliation of the Indian armed forces was not only proportionate but highly successful as well. It seems that the kind of pressure that was building on Pakistan to escalate situation was constantly failing. That's why that's the reason why the DGMO of Pakistani military reached out to the Indian side requesting for a ceasefire at the present situation. So while it is being observed across the international border as well as the LOC as far as the armed forces of the 2 countries are concerned, there has to be strategy in place as well, and that perhaps is the reason why the meeting was called. Meeting was also called to review the situation and to get updates about everything that has happened in the last 24 hours, because Prime Minister Narendra Modi is directly holding talks with not only the defense minister at the political spectrum but also including all the armed forces chiefs, the Air Force, Navy and Army, along with the Chief Defense the National Security Advisor, the CDS, so all of the officials from the Defense Ministry were part of the meeting, in which the earlier instances such as the observation of ceasefire, how it is being implemented, how people are being protected, and also the future steps that have to be taken given the light of the prevailing situation as far as the relocation of the people who have moved from the bordering areas to insides are concerned, and to provide protection and to not only the locals of Jammu and Kashmir and other regions that are bordering the international border and the LOC, but also the people who are living in other parts of the country who were seeing constant threats and constant drone attacks that were carried out by the Pakistani armed forces. So also to prepare for a future, also to prepare for similar kind of engagements if there is any flare up ever in the future, because India has already said that any act of terror will be an act of war. So if you say that there is an act of war committed by the enemy, then you have to retaliate in a proportionate manner, which requires a lot of capability. So I think the capability building part will be focused a lot by the government. Everything that is required by the armed forces is being taken note of, how dynamics of warfare have changed and how newer equipment is to be inducted and utilized in any warlike situation. That has been a talk of town as far as the defense forces are concerned. And capacity building will remain a key focus for the government as far as any future requirements of the forces are concerned. So it seems that there will be an overhaul as far as the defense strategies are concerned, now that the Indian Army and the Indian Armed Forces have seen sort of an active battleground with a nuclear armed country.
Right. Also, the military action has been stopped. How critical is this phase, Akshay, and what happens next?
Well, India has been maintaining from the very beginning that any kind of strike or any kind of action that will be taken by the Indian Armed Forces will be aimed only at stopping terror activities emanating out of Pakistani borders as well as the Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir region. But also what we are stating at this point in time as far as the actions are concerned of the armed forces was proportionate, and if there are cessation of hostilities at one side, then India is also going to respect that, and that is what is happening. Pakistan itself had come to India to request for a ceasefire, stating that there will be cessation of hostilities. However, all the other aspects of the ongoing tensions between the 2 countries had no place as far as the discussions are concerned between the 2 DGMO level officers. That includes the Indus Water Pact and other kind of visa cancellations and stoppage of trade, as well as the airspace that has been closed for the Pakistani airlines. So nothing of these options and these developments were discussed between the two countries. The only thing that has developed is the cessation of hostilities that started yesterday at about 5 p.m. and that is also being observed, that how in case of any eventuality Indian Armed Forces will be responding.
Akshay, thank you for those updates.